Hello and welcome to Two Peas in a Podcast. My name is Razzletor, but you can call me Raz for short, as always.
And I'm Sara Fantastic.
And today's episode, we're going to be talking about some news with Marvel, and then our favorite Marvel movie, and our favorite Marvel character. So it might be a shorter episode, it might be a longer episode, we'll see how long we talk for. Before we get into any of our normal stuff, though, we wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update about some of our posting things. So the big thing right now is SoundCloud. We've reached our limit already because SoundCloud actually doesn't store that much. It stores about, 3 hours?
3 hours.
Yeah, it's supposed to store 3 hours. So we could either start deleting content so that other people could see it, which we don't necessarily want to do. So we're going to work on transitioning all of our posting to YouTube. And so you can go to our YouTube page, which should just be under youtube.com/2peasinapodcast. I'll double check that though. And we'll have a link to it on our SoundCloud to make sure that people can find it. But you can subscribe there because that's where we'll be posting all future episodes. And that's also where I will work on getting our previous episodes uploaded as well. And then getting a nice playlist set up so anyone could watch all of our episodes if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah, so we'll work on getting those and exporting those and doing all that fun stuff. Just wanted to let you guys know that, though, because SoundCloud will charge us money if we want to upload any more. And so we're trying to keep this podcast as low cost as possible because we don't have money.
Yay for being poor college students.
That's
Woo-hoo.
what happens. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day
Happy
to us.
St. Patrick's Day.
For everyone else, it's already passed, so no happiness for you.
Oh, that's really actually very sad. We're both wearing green today.
I know. I wore it specifically so you wouldn't pinch me. Because you threatened me earlier in the week.
I definitely wore it on accident this morning whenever I got up at 6:30 and I had to leave by 6:40 to be on time. I definitely just picked up my Green Ninja Turtles t-shirt, sniffed it to make sure it wasn't gross, and ran out the door in it.
Pass the
That's
smell check.
Probably too much information, but that's okay.
So, as you guys know, we always do Fancy Sock Fridays, because for our listeners, it is Fridays normally when you guys will hear all of this. Mm-hmm. So my socks today, I remembered to wear fancy socks, and they are lavender with seagulls on them, and gray.
Mine.
Yes, they're my socks. They're great.
So my fancy socks, my right sock is green and has a knitted heart pattern on them, and my left sock is gray and navy and has an orange monster with orange polka dots.
Wow.
So
yeah, your other one is very intense.
I'm covering both my bases. I'm wearing both orange and green today because I am Protestant, but I'm also wearing green so people don't pinch me.
Well, aren't you cool?
Because I totally did that on purpose this morning.
Of course you did. So the other thing that we always do at the beginning of our episodes is we do a story or fact about ourselves or something, basically so our listeners can get to know us a little bit better. So, Sarah, you go first.
So, on my phone, I have an app, a game app, that is called World Chef. And you own a restaurant, and people come in and you make dishes, and you earn money so you can buy more area for your restaurant and more chefs and stuff. And you get to name your restaurant. And so, because I am known online as Sara Fantastic, I named my restaurant Sara Pantastic, which means I'm Sara Puntastic. And that, dear listeners, is the pun of the day.
Still not as good as my restaurant name, which is The Raztorant.
Also, the pun of the day.
We have two puns of the day, because puns are the best.
Don't expect that. I'm not that creative. Alright, what's your story, Raz?
So, mine, I think I just have a fact about myself, and that's I have an unhealthy addiction to Taco Bell.
You need to tell our listeners what you order, because every time we go to Taco Bell, Raz is like, I'm gonna try something different.
I sometimes mix it up. I had a quesalupa the other day, which was something I had not had, and I changed it up for one of my things. But I usually get a Crunchwrap Supreme meal with Baja Blast with a soft shell taco and a beefy 5-layer burrito. And the fact that I can say that without having to think about it is scary. I'm pretty sure it's the number 7 on the menu.
Yeah.
It's either number 7 or number 9, because I'm used to saying one of those. But it's a problem, and I know it's a problem. But for all people, for future reference, the way to my heart is Taco Bell.
I actually don't believe that you had something different because I wasn't there to see it.
I bet you don't, because I literally get the same thing every
time. It's great.
I am a creature of habit. It is true. All right, so those were our stories of the day, or facts about us, and we're going to jump into the main part of everything. So there is a new Captain America Civil War trailer that's out, and it's super spoilery, so if you haven't seen it, close your ears for a few minutes while we talk about it. Or
pause it and go watch the new trailer.
You could do that.
Because
that happens.
It is something you will have access to.
It's so very true.
I am so excited about Civil War.
Yeah.
From the beginning, when the first Avengers movie came out, I was like, they're building towards Civil War. They're building towards Civil War. I can't wait. They're building towards Civil War. I'm very excited.
I was trying to come up with a good pun on the spot, but the only thing I could think of is, like, which would be worse?
Oh my goodness. Get out. Leave. Don't leave. I can't do this by myself.
Which team are you on, though?
Team Cap all the way.
Yeah, I'm definitely Team Cap.
I do love Iron Man very, very much. And I love Black Widow. And I'm so excited for Black Panther. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm so very excited. And also War Machine. And spoilers, Spider-Man.
Yes!
I am so excited. I actually have a theory because one of the people on Iron Man's team, Marvel went ahead and threw this out and said one person on Iron Man's team is a traitor or an infiltrator. And so for the longest time, people on the internet have been arguing that it is Black Widow because her and Hawkeye are on opposite teams. And for so long, Black Widow has just been seen with Cap, supporting Cap all the time. So a lot of people have been arguing that. But I actually think it might be Spider-Man. Because in the comic arc, around comic 535 or so, Spider-Man makes the decision, because his identity is revealed, he makes the decision to switch from being Team Iron Man to Team Captain America.
Huh.
So that might be something that I have seen argued on the internet, and I'm really very excited.
I think that Avengers 2 definitely really hinted towards Civil War a lot. You could tell. You could tell that Cap and Iron Man just had really different ideas about the way things should go.
Yeah, and even the teasing in Avengers 2, where it started off, where Tony was language, even that sort of was rift making.
Mm-hmm. I'm so ready. The other big trailer that dropped recently is today. We're so on top of the news, guys. Today, Xmen Apocalypse trailer dropped, and it was awesome.
No, this was the second trailer that they released.
Yeah, the second one. But it looks like it's going to be a really good movie. I thought that Days of Future Past was really good.
I am a fake fan because I haven't seen Days of Future Past yet. Because reasons, but I will watch it before I go see Apocalypse, I promise.
That's good. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be really good. It looks like it'll be this crazy, I don't even know how to describe it, apocalyptic thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be very intense, though. It looks like it's going to be, at least the battle, as far as fighting size goes, I'd say it's going to be on the scale of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
To where it's going to be that intense of stakes when they're fighting.
One thing that I am super excited about is Oscar Isaac is playing Apocalypse, and I really loved his performance in Star Wars The Force Awakens, so I'm really ready for him to be the bad guy. I'm just so ready.
And not
That's
be the
why
good guy.
I'm going to rush out tonight. I'm not even going to go anywhere, guys. I'm just kidding. I will watch Days of Future Past at some point in the future when I'm already outside.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Let's see. So the next thing that we have on our list is... Oh, we're talking about the newest Avengers that came out, which was, of course, a little while ago. But it was Avengers Age of Ultron, which was the second one. And so did you have anything you wanted to talk about with that, Sarah?
Yes. Okay. I am still
Spoiler alert, by the way. If they haven't seen it, it's too late.
It's too late now, guys. I'm sorry you're stuck with it. Quicksilver had an unfortunate end in Age of Ultron, and I'm not okay with it because that is the first time in a very long time that Marvel has on screen killed off a major or a superhero character, at least in the cinematic universe. And so I am very upset because the rule about Marvel is if you don't see the body, they're still alive. Except after Captain America Winter Soldier with Nick Fury, even if you did see the body, they're still alive. So I really want Quicksilver to come back. I feel like they definitely left the door open in case they could negotiate another contract with, is it Fox that owns X-Men or Sony?
So. I think that it's Fox, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Somebody owns it and it's not Marvel. And so I'm hoping that they'll be able to negotiate because, I mean, they literally have a coffin-like chamber that can regrow cells and reanimate dead cells. So I feel like they left that door open, and I just really want Pedro to come back. I want him to walk back on screen and walk up to Hawkeye and be like, "What? You didn't see that coming?" I think my favorite point in the movie was he's trapped. So it's Hawkeye, and he's in the room, and I think it's Scarlet Witch who's there with him. Or it's somebody who's in that room with him. And he's just like, none of this makes sense. I'm fighting robots with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
And so he's trying to get Scarlet Witch to help him, and it's like, it's fine, but I'm going to have to go back out there.
I think the most frustrating thing for me about the storyline as a whole was they spent so much time building up Hawkeye's character because the whole time they're making you feel like Hawkeye's gonna die. Hawkeye's gonna die. Hawkeye's gonna die. Because they introduced a family, which we didn't know that he had before. And then they were like, oh, he's a good guy and he gives advice to people and he cares for people. And then we're like, oh, wow, he's a really bad butt fighter because there are these two new supers who are introduced. One who has crazy mind powers and one who's really fast. And he's the only one to take out both of them, even though he doesn't have any superhero powers.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're definitely setting us up to be like, oh wow, Hawkeye's gonna die and that's gonna be really emotional. So I had been building up a wall of tolerance to be able to take Hawkeye's death, and then it was friggin' Quicksilver who died. I was so upset. I wasn't prepared for that.
It's gonna be great. I'm excited to see where it goes from here and what's gonna happen with it. So the other thing we want to talk about is Doctor Strange is coming out eventually, which I like because it's much more magic than kind of superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really interested to see how that's going to work out. And then also we have Super Snip Humbersnatch who's going to be in it.
Oh my gosh.
So if you haven't seen the thing on Tumblr, basically you can make up a whole bunch of words and jumble them around, and as long as there's something similar to Benedict Cumberbatch, everyone knows who you're talking about.
I was going to say poppy seed muffin batch.
Yep.
And you know who it is.
You know it's Benedict Cumberbatch. It couldn't be anyone else. And it's just great that happens.
I am also very excited for Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange is one character I don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
I knew he existed. I knew he had cool storylines. But I had never, like, read any of the comics or anything, so I just never really was into Doctor Strange. So I'm really excited that they're doing it. I'm also really excited that Martin Freeman has been cast in a different Marvel movie, and so maybe they'll eventually get to work together.
I know, it's gonna
and
be
it
great.
will be great. Maybe they'll, because Marvel's super sassy, so there'll probably be some in-jokes about short people and dragons or something.
Yep, it'll be a whole nother Hobbit thing, or a whole nother Sherlock thing.
So I'm very excited for that.
It's great. Yeah, so we're definitely excited for Doctor Strange. So we're going to transition to our kind of like favorites. So first we have our favorite Marvel movie so far, kind of overall.
Mm-hmm.
And so mine, for sure right now, my top movie is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
Why?
it was a super fun ride, and it was just this cast of characters who, like everyone thought that movie was going to do okay, but not do super well, and then it ended up being like the best movie that summer. And it was great. The soundtrack was great. The whole movie was fun. And so I just remember it being a really fun experience, and I still enjoy watching it.
Yeah. I agree. Guardians of the Galaxy is great. I told everyone, just give it a chance. Like, even before it came out, I was like, just trust Chris Pratt. Like, it'll be fine. Vin Diesel's a tree. What more do you need to know?
Exactly.
Like, it'll be fine.
He had to say I am Groot a bunch of times, and got paid for it.
That's the dream job.
It is. Voice acting, man.
I can't decide on a favorite movie. I have written down the first Captain America movie because whenever I watched it the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cheesy, because that was back when I was in my hipster phase and I thought that everything was, I'd already seen it all and it wasn't as good as something else I had seen before. But then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, I get the joke, because World War II, all their propaganda movies were really cheesy and funny, and so they were mimicking that, and it was really funny. My other favorite would probably have to be, I don't know, I really like the Avengers, the first one. That was really fun and unexpected, and I knew it was going to be good, but just the way Joss Whedon brought in all the characters, and they all had their own personalities, and it was a Loki fest.
Yeah.
So
Loki's so good. Yeah, so those are our favorite movies. I think that as far as like our favorite, I think we have Avenger, not our favorite character, but our favorite Avenger specifically. Yep. Do you want to do yours first?
Do yours first.
Okay, so mine is Vision, who's only been around for one movie so far, but I think he's fabulous, and it's mainly because of the person who plays him, which is Paul Bettany. And so he played Jarvis, and my favorite story about him is that when he played Jarvis, all he had to do was go into a recording studio and record his voice, and then that was his only role for the movie. And so
it was like one day of acting, and like he walked out with his check and everything.
Yep. And so he was so upset that he actually had to come in person and have hair and makeup and everything,
and
so
had
that
to,
he could look like Vision. I
think the thing he complained about the most was like having to get in shape, because it was like Robert Downey Jr. gets this cool suit, but he's like, but I have to wear spandex, and spandex doesn't hide anything.
And it was great. So I love Paul Bettany, and so I think Vision has been a really great character so far. I think my favorite line from him was, he hunted down the very last Ultron, and Ultron was like, the human race is going to fail eventually, right? And he's like, maybe, but then again, I was born yesterday, or something like that.
Yeah, because Ultron was like, oh, that's very optimistic of you, or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was born yesterday.
That was great. That was a good line. My favorite scene with Vision was when he walked on screen carrying Thor's hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Because earlier they had teased Captain America moving the hammer as like a throwback to the comics where Captain America could actually wield the hammer. And like in that scene, Thor's just like, Mew Mew, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And so, like, everyone, like, geeked out over that and was, like, super excited. So it was just really unexpected.
There was a collective gasp in the theater when I watched it.
Yeah, I think everyone stopped breathing for 2 minutes, probably.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was pretty great.
Right.
I told Raz that he would actually hate me when I said my favorite Avenger.
And she made me put in the notes that it's a surprise and wouldn't tell me. Because
I want his honest reaction, because it's going to be hilarious.
You're going to say Loki, aren't you?
Dang it! Loki is my favorite Avenger.
Oh my gosh. Unofficial.
He totally Have you read, like, Young Avengers?
I know.
Loki and Thor are like the ringleaders.
Yeah.
Loki is my favorite. He's a troubled ice giant baby.
I mean, you literally have a Loki mug staring at us with horns and everything. So it's not that hard for me to guess.
That's one of my favorite Christmas gifts. I got it the year before last. And the sad thing about it is it's got lead paint, so you can't drink out of it.
Yeah.
But it makes a good display piece.
It's a good talking piece.
It doesn't talk. It's a ceramic head. Raz is rolling his eyes at me.
Way to be real low-key about it. You've been a real thorn in my side.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You know what? You know why the All-Father couldn't make it to church?
Why?
He was snowed in.
Oh my goodness. If you can tell your bad jokes, I can tell mine.
As long as they're puns.
I told you this before the podcast, but I'm going to say it now anyways.
Okay.
Why did Magneto stop wearing purple?
Why?
Because the days of fuchsia passed.
It's such a good one.
I got that from the internet.
Fuchsia's not purple.
Shades. Stop casting shade about my shades.
Alright, well, did you want to say anything else about Loki?
No, but I want to say something else about Civil War.
Oh, okay, go for it.
So at the very end of the second trailer that they just dropped, which is where they introduced Spider-Man, Spider-Man's eyes move, like the black gets thicker, and in the comics, like they always did that with to show expression, but in this movie, when they move, there's like sort of a mechanical sound, and so lots of people are talking about how it sounds like Tony has messed with Spider-Man's suit, and Tony has been sitting on Spider-Man for a long time and has known about him and has been working and collaborating with Spider-Man.
That'd be so cool.
And I'm so excited. Like, I'm just really excited the way that Marvel's bringing him in, because it wouldn't make sense for any of the Avengers to really know who Spider-Man is, because he's just this little punk kid. And so I'm really excited that they're just dropping him in with literally no explanation.
Yeah, it's going to be great, I think.
And so I'm just so excited.
It's going to be so good.
Okay, I'm good now.
I think that's everything that we have to talk about as far as Marvel goes. Maybe we'll do another episode some other time doing some more stuff. Or maybe we'll do like a countdown episode. We'll see. But that's all for now. I actually will not be here for next week's podcast.
Oh, it was going to be a surprise. I was going to do your voice and everything.
Oh, well, now they know, but maybe they'll forget. Alright, so don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. Remember, we're moving to YouTube now, which is where all of ours will be posted. I'll make them into video format, so that way YouTube will actually like me. But we also won't have to worry about them going away, which is kind of nice. At least for a little while.
Super nice.
Until YouTube decides that these aren't getting enough views and destroys them.
That's not how that works.
That's how YouTube works, guys.
Oh no, I'm scared.
I'm just kidding. So that's our episodes. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter. We got all of those different socials. They're all linked on our SoundCloud, or they'll now be linked to our YouTube page. So feel free to check those out. And on that note, I guess let's say peace out.